Nearly a century ago, the versatile actor Lon Chaney was known as the man of 1,000 faces. Well, now that title might be passed on to John Malkovich. And we're going to show you why. Working with his longtime collaborator, the acclaimed photographer Sandro Miller, Malkovich morphed into 41 famous figures. It's all in a new coffee table book, The Malkovich Sessions, due out April 5th. And Sandro Miller joins us with more. Good morning.
Good morning, Anthony. Thank you.
I love this project. You actually knew John Malkovich because you shot him like 18 years ago, was that?
Well, our relationship started about 18 years ago. John was with the Steppenwolf Theater. I was doing all the shots for the ensemble members. John walked in one day. Again, John's this huge presence, and I'm going, this is just going to be a great, great day. And we just had a great session together. That session just led to a friendship of 18 years. And, you know, through that, he became my muse.
I want to hear the first conversation, though, because, like, how do you arrive at this idea? These are some really iconic images. How did you guys first decide, let's do this, let's try it?
Well, you know, the whole idea came about, I had an illness about 4 years ago. I had a stage 4 cancer. And I remember laying in bed, very, very, very ill, probably high on morphine, just, just trying to keep the pain down. But, you know, the idea came to pay homage to these great photographers who have meant so much in my life and in my career, the ones that inspired me to think of portraiture in a different way. And I've had a very wonderful career, so I thought it was a great way for me to say thank you. So I made this list of 40-plus images, sat down. Most of them were already in my head because they're images that are iconic. You just don't forget them.
How did you persuade John to do this?
Well, I got on an airplane. I had to go to his home. I figured this would not be something I want to drop in an email to him. So I went to his home in the south of France. And I remember we sat down, we had a couple of bottle of wines together, just catching up and stuff like that. And I brought the project out and showed it to John, and John was like, I love this here. And you could tell that it was a challenge for John. And being a great, great, great theater actor, you can give a guy a greater challenge than to reenact great, great, great celebrities.
It must have been a challenge for hair and makeup, too, and maybe some prosthetics also. Like, how did you guys actually pull this off?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, it all became research. We did a year and a half of research. We dissected every single shot. We blew them up on our computer screens. We looked at every single little detail.
Wow.
I brought in the best hair and makeup stylist, you know, in the country, Randy Wilder. We took a look at every detail, you know, and we had to order these, you know, these prosthetics, these hair and makeups, whatever we needed. We went out and had it made especially for each character. So it was a tough one, but, you know, there was no room for failure. There was no room for mediocrity here. I mean, it had to be perfect. Otherwise, it could have been just a big laughing stock of a project.
All right, let's look at some of these pictures quickly if we can. First, identical twins, a very famous Diane Arbus shot.
True. Yeah.
What made you pick this one?
Well, it's one of the most powerful shots that Diane ever did. Again, these are iconic images, images that just resonate in your mind.
This is hysterical.
And to watch John do this was just absolutely hysterical. How he went from, you know, the one girl who was shy, who didn't want to be shot, to the next girl who, yes, I love the camera.
Give us one sentence, because we've got so many of these to go through. Yeah. Albert Einstein.
Just amazing. He nailed it in the very, very, very first 5 shots. Done.
That's so good.
Got it. Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe?
Marilyn Monroe, he was, you know, Bert Stern and Marilyn were drinking martinis at the Beaumont. Bert got Marilyn's top off. I directed John into that moment. He took the top off, and then he put those red roses over his bosoms. He became Marilyn Monroe.
It's so good. Tell us about The Migrant Mother.
Migrant Mother is probably one of the most important photographs in history.
Yes.
It talks about the pain that women have gone through so much in their lives. It had to be done, and it was the toughest shot to do because we had 3 children in the shot, and it's very difficult to direct 3 children to stay still for as long as we need them to stay still. But John was really brilliant with
Dorothea Lange photograph, of course. The last shot we have here is Ernest Hemingway.
Ernest Hemingway. You know, it was towards the end of Ernie's life. Joseph Kars was photographing him. You know, you could see that long distance look in Hemingway's eyes. You know, he had faraway eyes. It was just a great shot. I needed to cover that one.
I want to mention before we go that you mentioned you came up with this while you were going through stage 4 cancer. You are now cancer-free?
I am cancer-free.
So good to hear.
Yeah.
So wonderful. And the images are wonderful. I know you said that they made you rethink photography. The intent is serious, but you can't help but smile.
Yeah, well, thank you so much.
Sandro, thank you so much for your time.
Very welcome.